So this morning I have a story for all ages. But with my little document camera here, I'm going to switch over to reading the story to you all. And it's about seeds being promises. And oftentimes in our religious exploration classes, we call our principles our promises to one another. So keep that in mind as we go through this story. A Seed is a Promise by Claire Merrill. There we go. You know a lot about seeds. When you eat an orange, you see little white seeds inside. And you've seen the seeds of other fruits too, like apples, pears, melons, and grapes.
To the church service and at the
Have you eaten peas or lima beans for dinner? Peas and lima beans are seeds. They're the seeds of vegetables. Perhaps you've bought flower seed packets in the store, maybe recently, or fed grass seed to a pet bird. Have you ever worn those little maple tree seeds on your nose, those little airplanes, or played tea party with the seeds of an oak tree? Do you know where all seeds come from? All seeds come from plants. And in every seed, there is a promise that a new plant will grow. If you know what kind of plant a seed comes from, you know what it will grow into. A bean seed, for example, will grow into a bean plant, an orange seed into an orange tree. But an orange tree will never grow, or an orange seed will never grow into a lemon tree. We know that as well. So how are seeds made? Most seeds begin inside flowers. Look at the center part of a flower. This is called the pistil. At the bottom of the pistil, there are tiny egg cells. Now look at the parts around the pistil. These are called the stamens. They make a yellow powder called pollen, and a grain of pollen must reach an egg cell to make a new seed. Some flowers use their own pollen to make seeds, but most flowers use the pollen of other flowers for seeds. Bees and little other insects carry pollen from flower to flower. The wind also blows pollen through the air. A grain of pollen lands on the pistil of a flower. A pollen grain grows on a long tube down into the pistil and joins an egg cell. A seed begins. Soon the flower starts to die and its petals dry and fall, but the flower dies, but inside the pistil, new seeds are in fact growing. As the seeds grow, a pod or a fruit grows around them. The fruit protects the seeds, in fact, and the fruit gets bigger and bigger and riper and riper. Like a juicy summer watermelon. The fruit breaks open. The seeds are ready to start new plants. Some seeds fall onto the ground right next to the plants that made them. Other seeds travel. The seeds of violets and pansies shoot into the air. Milkweed and dandelion seeds ride silken strands into the wind or in our wishes. Some seeds have sturdy wings that let them glide on the wind or float on the water. Some seeds travel with your help or even with your little dog's help. Their sharp little burrs hook onto clothing and furs. Very practical. Now, not all seeds will grow into plants. Many things may go wrong. A seed may not land on good earth. It may land on a rock or in your house. A hungry bird or squirrel may, in fact, eat that seed. But almost every seed does start out with a chance to grow. You can find out why. Soak a lima bean overnight in water. In the morning, help have your parents help you cut it in half, and inside you'll see a tiny little baby plant. There's a tiny little baby plant curled up in every seed. This tiny baby plant can grow into a big plant. And as long as the tiny plant stays alive, there's a chance that that seed can keep its promise, even after a very long time. Here's a true story about some seeds that grew after a very long time. One day in the cold north country of Canada, a miner was digging in the frozen earth. Deep down, they found some old animal burrows, little homes for the animals. Inside the burrows were some animal bones. And next to the bones, there were tiny, tiny seeds. The miner took the bones and seeds and showed them to some scientists. The scientists found that the bones were the bones of these little animals called lemmings, and that the bones were very old, thousands and thousands of years old, in fact, from prehistoric times. And the lemmings must have stored the seeds for food. So everyone wondered, would these seeds still grow? Had the earth acted like a freezer and kept the seeds from spoiling? The scientists put the seeds on a special wet paper and waited for 2 days until they saw that some of the seeds had kept their promises. They had sprouted after thousands and thousands of years. In time, the seeds grew into healthy plants. The plants grew flowers, and the flowers made new seeds, each with a promise of its own. The end. A seed is a promise, and our principles to one another are promises as well.